By the way, ever since I found out that God really does exist, after I saw some pretty like amazing things happen, like UFO kind of things, um, after I saw water go up the tile, like defy gravity, go up, and then to like reveal a message about Bumba that she loves me, I realize now Bumba was my dog. By the way, Bumba was my dog, which is my chihuahua. After I saw those things and something else that happened on TV, I realized that's like basically, to me, that's basically God communicating. Maybe not, but basically, because it was messages of love. After that, I was like, wow. Okay, so since there's God, what am I going to do about prison? Because honestly, that is one hell of a situation that I do not feel comfortable explaining, because that's taking God's job. Yeah, no, I know I'm not a judge. Nope, not a judge. That's not my job to judge. But what I will say is, was it at least my job or my responsibility to be upfront about what my conscience and my level of participation was, or my motivation was? Yes, I should be honest about that. And whether or not there was something that I felt that I was doing intentionally to hurt someone, those are things that I need to be honest about. But here's the bottom line about prison. How can anyone be certain that what they're doing at that time is really them doing it? Because I can't anymore. I really can't. There's too much hypnotizing going on, and there's way too much musical chairs of souls going on, that people are losing their memories. I find people that don't know shit about their culture, and that, can't really answer any questions when it comes to like where they're from. And then in the end, it turns out they're all from like Petaluma. And I know why. I know why Polyclass now disappeared from Petaluma. It's the pet and the Rubber Maid Association, and the assumption about petting something in a petting zoo, and the assumption about molesting something, and also about implied consent of petting and robbing something. So like, petting something is like to say that you're a pet. So what do people do when their pets are missing? Is it that big of a deal usually? And there's multiple dimensions here, by the way. So like, when I went to Benjamin Bub, I'm pretty sure I was a flea. It wasn't until the 5th grade that a Nitsi tirado showed up in the last 2 weeks, and basically was the equivalent of a fogger of, pesticides, basically. But that's the equivalent of that. She shows up, we're all now not fleas. Basically, that means we stay at Benjamin, and no matter where we go, we're basically stuck there. And why would that matter? Because it turns us into a vintage of wine. That's why. It turns us into the next block of cheese. It turns us into the golden calf, which, by the way, Jonathan wanted to try and assign me as his golden calf. And I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? I'll be the fucking golden calf with a goddamn fist. All those times I got arrested. I knew that the moment they finally would take off my handcuffs that I was already in the zone of the apes and monkeys, because my hands were not only stuck like this because I squeezed them so hard, partly because I was so fucking worried my hands were gonna get chopped off, because there was some kind of weird witchcraft with those handcuffs that they started to like close on me. And when I say close on me, I mean they like nearly chopped off my hands. So, and when that happened, I had a memory. All of a sudden, it poured out of me and poured in. Well, it all of a sudden came up to me, and it was me with my hands chopped off. Kind of like in that movie, The Craft, where her hands kind of come off and then snakes grow out of her hands. But that's not what happened to me. What happened to me was my hands got chopped off, and the blood that came pouring out like a fountain became like people kind of thing. But it was actually other worms to help me while I'm on fire, like in Pompeii, and there's like hot lava and shit coming down, and I'm screaming, and I'm doing a zigzag kind of fucking thing, because I'm also like a snake, I think. So it's a snake. I'm zigzagging it. And, but really I'm a snake trying to escape the volcano of Mount Vesuvius. While at the same time, my hair is burning off because of that. And I'm getting scaly. And it's not because it's the natural thing of a snake. It's because of the hot lava. So anyway, I think that's why Tashina went to Graham Middle School, to also remind me about what happens when people try and go to Sheena and be the next Sheena, the warrior, whatever, or Xena, the next warrior, whatever. And that's because people keep trying to like use the Amazon like Carol Dana, or is it Hannah? What's her name? Daryl Hannah. And that's because the dare to keep kids off drugs. So that Daryl Hannah can continue to use the Amazon for her own personal medicine supply. And that's taking up Ushe. Ushe. She's part of, I think, the Warani tribe. It's either the Warani or something. Either way, it's like I know I'm linked with her. Okay? And I know I'm linked with the Inca also, because when I got released from jail, who picked me up was someone from Peru. He insisted on picking me up. Not insisted. He just demanded that he give me a ride to my car. Like as if he knew me. And then all of a sudden I had this weird feeling that was like my grandmother. Ingeborg. He didn't look like my grandmother though. He looked like someone from Peru. So it was probably linking back up to maybe Peru and Japan and stuff like that. Pacific Islands. Galapagos. Things like that. So I know I look white, but there's times when I look at my face, the jaw structure reminds me of someone that has a very native looking face. A little bit kind of like Lucinda, if I can recall exactly. Like a little bit like Lucinda. But also like, it's like a jaw structure that also reminds me of a Chinese person. And I do have some memories of China. And not of the kind of China that like my Uncle Henry went to or whatever. My my memories of China are different. They're like pasta tile roofs with a noodle war and an apocalypse and the most horrible, most saddest time of my life. And also with Middle Eastern music kind of like playing in the background, like this kind of like flute that's like, it reminds me of something that a cobra would be hypnotized by. But it also reminds me a little bit of like I think I heard something like that when Queen of the Damned was on. When I heard the Queen of the Damned music in the background, I was like, oh wow, I haven't heard one of those. I was like, another life maybe. Like, but yeah, no. When I heard that, I was like, oh, hey, old friend. You know, I was like, I like that. It's very sad though. Very, very sad when I hear it. But at the same time, it's like I'm addicted to it. It's weird. Kind of gross, actually. That I'm addicted just to some things. Like, there's a particular smell I'm addicted to. It has to do with the Valley Medical Center. And another smell I'm addicted to, and that one has to do with a little mix of Egyptian and a mix of kind of like a fire, but there's a particular kind of wood that's linked with too. And it's an old smell. Maybe like when I smell it, I think, oh my God, how long has it been? 1,000 years? It's that kind of smell. While at the same time, it motivates the fuck out of me. As soon as I smell it, I'm simultaneously like in the biggest rush of my life to try and like get my luggage together or get some things together that I need to get before I get picked up. And at the same time, try not to make too much of a mess while I vomit, because I'm going to start and it literally makes me want to vomit at the same time. Vomit and pack. And have a little bit of hope that there is still someone out there for me. So I think it's linked with like a soulmate. And a lot of vomit. But, you know, I'm addicted to it. If it ever comes around, which it comes around when it comes around, I don't know how to find it. It just comes around. So, whenever. And then there's another smell that reminds me of like Jeannie Naughton and a pet shop. And it's sad also. It also reminds me of the 1950s. And like Formica type of tables and Bakelite jewelry. The type of kitchen that like makes me want to puke. So, yeah. Devastating. But I tell you what, there's a really great example of something that could be very helpful to determine whether or not someone is familiar with this, and that is prunes from a Chinese store. They're called like something long, but they're basically prunes. And they might be dates, actually. They might be dates. I can't think of it. But either way, if they're dates or prunes, you get them at this Chinese store. Probably just pick a good one. I got the ones I got in Vacaville. But anyway, You get them and try them, and if it does not bring you back to a specific moment in history that is extremely sad and awful and heartbreaking and devastating and really lonely, then then you got some bunk ones, because the real ones bring you back to a moment that, like, if you went through it, you would know it. If you didn't go through it, you wouldn't know it, and it would probably taste just fine. Because I did a test. I tried it, and both times I tried it, I was like, well, that's without a shadow of a doubt. That was when I was in a convalescent home, and that was devastating. It was like being forgotten and losing my family and having to be tortured by having like a lengthy stay there that I just could not seem to escape. And it was like, it was one of the hardest times of my that's torture. So, okay, there's that. And then listen to Hey Love by Delphonics. And if that doesn't bring you back and it completely devastates you, probably take you to like the edge of like wanting to kill yourself. And it tastes just fine and makes you think of fun things, especially with that song, because it could be a beautiful love song too. Then you probably haven't gone through it. I'm inclined to think that these kinds of memories don't just come to people that haven't gone through them. Kind of like the slavery thing. And I think that's why the cello is so loaded and protected when it comes to like the Zulu dancing. And it's because, and why George Floyd died, and why it's linked with Pink Floyd and stuff like that. It's loaded because of slavery, and that sound from underneath a deck of a boat is like haunting to someone who's gone through slavery. And not only haunting, but it just like, it's like, you're just like, why is this like I had to play it over and over and over again. Get addicted to it. And you know who didn't like me playing it was Clint. But he did point me to something else I could do. He's like, here, do this one instead. And I was like, huh? And so then I listened to like rap music, and I was like, oh, okay. But I still didn't feel like the heart and soul that I felt in the other one, Signs of Life. I didn't feel the heart and soul. I wrote, so why not reincarnation? Why do we feel we can't bring lessons we already shared into new life? Or rather, into new born needs diapers. Okay, just to specify what a new life means to me. The only thing I can think of is someone wants to sell it back and reap it. So that's why I also believe in reincarnation. That, and also because I have sporadic memories about stuff that had happened to me before. And it makes sense because not only do I have those memories, but it gets reinforced with the order of events that happened to me in this life. And it's almost like I'm recollecting all my past lives as I'm going through this one. it's like that. So that's pretty much why. But the point here is that why not reincarnation? Why do we feel we can't bring lessons we already shared into our new life? And the only thing I can think of is someone wants to sell it back and reap it. But when a person still obsesses over it, I think it's a sign that they need to be reunited with their actual contribution to history and how they participated, so that we understand what work we have left to do. And if it conflicts with a business, then if it conflicts with a business that has a lot of power, but also is hesitant to want to contribute or support or reinforce that kind of like purpose for someone, I would say that there's a way we can work with this. There's a way to do it so that it doesn't conflict with the business. And the business doesn't have to try and prove itself that it's like a model business, in order to have some kind of like say about, hey, trying to stay in, competitive in the market. Now, if it's just doing it because it will disprove its product and the product will then become a null and void, well, then that is a bad product and they should probably move on to a new one that actually isn't gonna prove that it's not useful at all. Come up with a better product. Or better yet, fund someone, back someone that has a better concept, a better idea, and be fair. So that was that. And then I also wrote something about women in music I don't trust as much, especially if it's seductive. And I wrote shame, like the shame. I really want to trust women in music, but there's something about it when they get seductive that I'm thinking they're trying to do some kind of weird, like, voodoo thing where they, like, take my mom or kill my mom or something, and I just get these horrible feelings, and I'm like, no. My mom's really ugly. You don't want her. She's ugly. Okay. And I'm a ghost. I'm probably a black guy. So so what I'm trying to say about women in music and how I don't really trust them right now is that, especially if they're seductive, is that I see them being seductive instead of being authentic and heartbroken. Authentic and heartbroken, or even fast talking rap. That feels more authentic to me than the seductive stuff. I wrote, I had hoped to use music to repair estranged relationships, countries and cultures with harmonized music, like taking two different genres that are kind of like totally different and maybe haven't been properly introduced, taking them and then doing like some kind of DJ mix where it gets harmonized and really fun and awesome and brings people together and they like it. So there's like an example of when I put together a harmonized song with a cumbia song. So it was like Fever Ray, the Viking song that plays in that series for the Vikings. I tried to like harmonize it with a song by what was it? It was like Ferrocarril. It's like a Mexican cumbia band, I believe. It's like Ferrocarril or something like that. Basically, it makes me think a little bit of like a county fair, but in Mexico. Or maybe Texas, at the border. you know, that is actually maybe even kind to its neighbor, you know. Which, by the way, I gotta say, I am in Livermore, and Lawrence Livermore Labs has an entrance to their business that looks like a border crossing. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is intended to be that. Another type of vampiring. And you know what? Like I said, we can't really blame people for things like that. That's another perfect example of like when who you think is guilty isn't. Because there is room for error now. You can't be certain that that border crossing like into the United States at the actual border is completely untampered with, put it that way. So, yeah, these are examples of when our country is failing in terms of security and in terms of, you know, having like a clear channel of like cause and effect. So I'm inclined to say the prisons have got to go. Why else would we have prisons? The only thing I can think of is to hide people. Otherwise, they would be available for everyone to see so that they can make sure that they're actually working on something productive that's helping the family or whoever it is that they hurt. And I think that the reason why it gets so damn complicated to do that is because they don't want people digging that deep into why they did what they did, if they did it at all. So that's not rehabilitative anyway if they're putting people to death. I'm sorry, but killing someone is not a solution to a problem. And Texas is going to be pissed off. I didn't say you couldn't have your guns, though. Keep your guns. Fuck, I don't care. Keep your guns. It's just, I personally, if it comes down to it, would prefer to have a man with a penis. But whatever. Because it kind of seems like at the end, it's a trade-off. And it pisses off a lot of guys. But go ahead. What do I care? I don't really want to be gay. But that's why men are now officially like the endangered species to me. And I refuse to have sex with a man I'm not at least attracted to or was attracted to at some point. Like heavy, you know, heavy attracted to, like damn, can't control myself. That kind of attraction. So it is what it is. And I don't have a problem with gay men as long as they like women too. Love women, actually. And not just every woman, that they have preferences and they can appreciate something beautiful. And not just appreciate something beautiful, that they actually find it sexy. So, because I don't want to put guys through that and be like, oh yeah, you're cute. You remind me of my brother. Thanks. I so needed that back rub. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't need no fucking back rub. So anyway, yeah, I'd like to have a trio. And I think that in order to have actually like kind of like a secure, sort of like, as they call it, well, I think they call it, there's some kind of language about a castle something or other with roses. I think it's because it's back to Beauty and the Beast stuff. But I don't want that. But what I do want is a secure group of friends that we all occupy a certain kind of like space in our kind of like relationship. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't want my relationships to get jeopardized by like more spiritual musical chairs or whatever. I want all those spaces to be occupied so that we don't have to worry that there's going to be people changing on us. Like all the boyfriends I've had now, they all change. And when I say change, they become violent. And they didn't start off like that. They become violent and they strangle me and they try to get me out of a window. They like try to suffocate me. Okay. So basically that's, I believe that's partly a Ridley Scott situation with the alien, but also it's because I think they're trying to actually help me. And so I don't take it personal, but I don't like the abuse and I don't fight them back. I try my very best to not be like offensive and mean and try to instigate them, but they flip out and it's like scary because it doesn't make any sense. So I think that the best thing for people that have been abused, especially women, would be to be with two men, because two men would make sure that there's always a witness and there will be a healthy level of competition that will be contained within that environment. And then that way the jealousy will end. And since they both love each other also, we don't have to worry about Cain and Abel killing each other. And I think that's really what it comes down to, is Cain and Abel. So yeah, I need that shit to stop. Like Trump and the Russian or from Ukraine, that guy, like I feel bad for the guy from Ukraine, but I also like Trump too. Like, and I saw he did some kind of musical ensemble with like someone from China. Sorry, someone just walked past me and I got kind of confused. But anyway, they worked together on like a piece. And I gotta say, I was really like, oh, thank God. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh shit. I'm like, how do I make it popular for guys to love guys too? Because I'm tired of war. War needs to stop. I mean, as long as they love women too, and they're open to marrying a woman also, and marrying a man, that way it's monogamous. I think this could be really helpful because it could bring us back to like some of the things like in Greek times when the the teacher, the mentor, was also kind of like the mentor for sex too. So that would be helpful because I hear there's a lot of guys that don't know how to have sex, and it's important. It's very important. So instead of going out there and trying to sow your wild oats and try and have sex with lots of women so that you can develop your experience, I think it's best to do it in a relationship. And I'm not saying that I want to go out trying to get young guys, but I'm just saying that it could be helpful for the men that don't have a whole lot of experience with the ones that do, and they could pair up first. Because honestly, I think the only way a trio is going to ever be successful is if the two guys love each other to begin with and they're best friends, and they respect each other, and they also have a thing for women and they don't want to cheat on each other, so they're going to try and do the right thing and find the right mate. So I'm already told my dad, Baltazar, that that's what I thought I needed. And I could tell that he was kind of like, he didn't know how to respond, but at the same time, I think he understood why I did say that. And it's because I'm tired of getting abused and I don't snitch. The reason why I don't snitch is because I'm not trying to add fuel to the tank of prison, basically. And I'm not trying to solve my problems that way either, because I'm kind of old school. I do things differently.